for a job well done, according to the satellite newspaper. Next is it says Sierra Leone Commercial Bank recognizes heroic staff for fire response. Africell Sierra Leone sets new standards in customer care. That's what you can have on the front page of the satellite newspaper. Next week for this morning is the exclusive newspaper, and on its front page it says SLPP APC pledge electoral reforms, electoral justice, national unity, national cohesion, condemn violence. Samura Kamara calls for transparency, accountability, and justice. The different stories is going with the pictures and the photographs of President Julius Madabio alongside Samura Kamara, and also the one that Dr. Samura Kamara is saying that is calling for transparency and accountability, is going with the photo of the leader of the main opposition, All People's Congress Party. Awareness time is our next speak for today. On its front page, it says, supported by umbrella body of Women's Forum and other strategic partners, Fatima's tenacity leads MPs to ban all child marriage. That story is going with the First Lady, Fatima Biu, and of course, APC Honorable Catherine Zainab Tarawali in Parliament. Yesterday also Honorable Mariama Zombo, she's as well one of the person that the story is going alongside with. Next up is the New Vision newspaper. On its front page it says President's Bureau extends dates for reports. That's the date for the final report for the tripartite. Again, this story is going with the picture of President Bureau and that of Dr. Samura in a very good camaraderie there at State House. Also, say Africa is vulnerable to accidents, and Lower Bambara Chiefdom angry with government. Next up is the Awoko newspaper. On its front page, it says treason insufficient evidence against by Mambu, argues defense lawyer. And Sierra Leone battles tripartites infodemic. Public Account Committee chair frustrated with questionable handling by NRA in recovery of arrears. The story is going with the Deputy Commissioner General of NRA. That's Mr. Girard. Mr. Girard is going alongside that story. Next up is Rainbow Center reports 78 successful convictions for sexual assault in 2023, and JICA pledges continued training opportunities for Sierra Leone police. That's what you can have on the front page of the Awoko newspaper. The Political is our next speak, and on its front page it says failed coup, 5 fugitives arrested. Mayamba farmers applaud Salmet, and toxic politics increase health risks in SL report. MPs want strong laws to clean Freetown. That's all you can have on the front page of the Political newspaper. Next up is the Independent Observer, and on its front page it says Councillor Bumper Ture louds Africa's for outstanding corporate social responsibility. 5 more coup plotters arrested. The names of the persons that were arrested yesterday as follow: Major F.S. Kamara, Major Patrick Sise, Major Joanna Kaba, Famata Koroma, and Major I. Bangura. Tongo Kono Road cut off. That's all you can have on the front page of the Independent Observer. Next up is the SIA update. On its front page it says the marvels of travel, the joys of home. 5 fugitives arrested in Guinea. Okay, that's all you can have on the front page of the update. Next up is the A to Z. On its front page it says HRCSL capacitates journalists on human rights reporting. Parliament enacts law prohibiting marriage of child under 18. IGR survey reveals politics as major cause of hypertension in Sierra Leone. 5 fugitives linked to November 26 coup attempt arrested in Guinea. Next is the Premier News. On its front page it says President extends timeline for submission of tripartite committee report. Sierra reports area 1 fatality, and Councillor Bompatue applauds Africa's outstanding CRS commitment. Former military personnel reminded for treason. That's all you can have on the front page of the Premier News. The Global Times is our next big. Fumble Talk urges politicians. 5 coup plotters arrested in Guinea. JICA to provide training for police. Next is the Heritage, and on its front page it says global leaders discuss water action agenda, and AfriCell launches nationwide customer care campaign, and that's all you can have on the front page of the front page of the Heritage. Our next and final pick for today is the Calabash Gentleman, and on its front page it says Sierra Leone Civil Aviation Authority opens new aircraft registration bill, and Samura Kamara unites for democratic reform. AfriCell introduces ACE to revolutionize telecom customer service, and Councillor Bompatue applauds Afrigas for outstanding CRS efforts. SLCB honors 62 dedicated staff. NPSL CEO engages EPA to strengthen environmental compliance and collaboration. And finally, 5 coup suspects apprehended in Guinea to be extradited to Sierra Leone. Gentlemen, we've gone through the review process. Indeed, a lot of interesting topics so far in terms of reviewing for our dailies here in the studio. The day before yesterday, Melvin and Daniel, we did have a report, and of course we did see as the tripartite committee they met with the President Julius Madabio in State House, following the responsibility given to them as one of the TOR in the Bintimani unity, whereas they should see our best to try to do report recommendations looking at what is the root causes of probably violence, election malpractices in the country in the last year elections and previous elections in the country. 169 recommendations were made as according to report, and 86 another one for like it's foul play. Also, the part of the report as one that would observe and give 169 recommendations made so far. And again, from the AYV, it says country force, SLPP, APC display statesmanship in tripartite committee following the meetings with both parties, I mean the APC and the SLPP, and the unity, well, Dr. Samura and President Bio try for showcase, whereas we suicide in the organ itself according to AYV paper and the recommendations that we have performed. Now, how might this display of statesmanship influence political climate and public sentiment in Sierra Leone?
What is a display of statesmanship?
See the organ itself and try for productivity. Okay.
So does that not seem the display at the launch of that committee? I mean, that was just a show. At the heart of the issue is the fact that there's a need for political clarity, and we all must be curious and cautious as to what we are expecting in the tripartite report. I don't know if you are giving details on the tripartite report. Were you giving details on the tripartite report?
No, just the 169 recommendations where no details, no specific details.
From what source?
I think that will be a question for the Minister of Information, but as far as we are concerned, is that 169 recommendations that, right, Daniel, we are given to, as part of the recommendations.
So people are getting information and they keep on. So, can I? If some people are privy to the reports, I think the best thing, not the report,
the people that are privy to the report, it's a recommendation. I think only the government and probably the committee generally, I mean international community, APC, and the committee that was set up from the government side.
Okay. I will not be laboring the points as to what I'm not privy to.
Okay. No, but generally now, from what you've seen so far in terms of the AYV newspaper saying country first as a BAPC displays statesmanship in tripartite meeting.
Except I will have to dissect the angle from which the AYV is coming from.
No, this is it's like a general thing,
Speculation.
right? Because the catchy thing here is the statesmanship that both leaders, I mean that Samura Kamara and President Biya are showcasing in terms of hugging themselves. In terms of public consumption, what do you think generally?
Oh, if it's for the face value and for picture sake, it's a very good picture. When you see the president and the leader of the de facto leader of the opposition, Rob Skinning, well, is that taking away the substance of the matter, which is what is to be expected in the Tripartite Report? I'm bewildered as to what's contained in that report, and I'm beginning to say, wow, if there are people that are privy to the contents of this report, they should not be coming out. Because I was analyzing the documents, the joint statement on what is to be expected and what is not to be expected, and all that I deduced from it is the fact that they were giving cautioning as to what to expect or what not to expect. Nothing like they know what is in the report.
Not at all.
So if somebody if you are saying a minister is saying 139 plus 100, I don't know where that is coming from. But if that is the case, it will be deceitful, especially so that the Tripartite Committee, they've been what I would call reticent in coming forward with their positions on critical issues as to what is to be expected or not to be expected. And thankfully, in their joint statement, they are still emphasizing the albatross in the room, which is that article on, I think, Article 3, that talks about what's the mandate of the tripartite. Be that as it may, I think until and unless we are privy to the full content of the report, all what we are seeing now is just a show of, okay, we are doing this thing. But we know that the issues in Sierra Leone are still there and are hovering. So when we look at the statements, we look at the politicians and say, okay, are they taking the people for granted, or is it that the people are overrating them?
Okay, so Daniel, Melvin here is like, is right, because there were no specific disclosure of the recommendations. That's why they said there are 169 recommendations made from the committee. Again, in terms of what we did see from the AYV newspaper and different papers, whereas we've seen where President Biya is hugging Dr. Samura Kamara. I will ask the same question to you, despite Melvin seems to have a contrary view. How might this display of statesmanship influence the political climate and public sentiment in Sierra Leone?
Thank you very much. For obvious reasons, of course, from the picture, there is a saying that a picture speaks 1,000 words.
6 volumes.
Yeah, when you look at the gullible nature of our, compatriots, and at the same time how they sometimes perceive issues more so when they are related to, politics. Of course, seeing the two gentlemen, hugging themselves in such a manner, it also sends, a picture that indeed there is a brighter light at the end of the tunnel. No longer a green light, but a brighter light, because some green lights might be dimming. As a people, I think I started saying it from the onset, since the Tripartite Committee was set up, that the state actors did not, do well to the general citizenry, because what actually, informed the setting up of the, tripartite. It was born out of the pronouncement that was made by the president in his maiden address to the parliament, that yes, indeed, he did acknowledge a lot of inconsistencies, some anomalies, challenges in the 2023 elections, and therefore he is going to set up an independent body that will actually sit and review the laws and see or find a pathway going forward. So when that committee was set, like I did say, some of us were critical about it based on its composition. because the elections did not take place between the two political parties. It took place amongst several political parties, I think 17 political parties. So if you want to mitigate the happenings, the odds that did happen in the past electioneering process, I think you have to bring all the factions, the 17 political parties that took part, in the elections. And then also the media, because in all of this, the media plays an integral part in reporting. And most of those journalists or media practitioners were at arm's way with law enforcement officers, the police, and other security personnel. And then also the very security personnel, or this, the police, the security apparatus, needs to be on board. Then also the judiciary, because it is a fact that whenever elections, disputes comes up, they are taken to the judiciary. They are not, brought to Daniel Espewa or Melvin or Banya. They are taken to the judiciary for adjudication, to address the matters. And then also, you think of the PPRC. The PPRC, in fact, it is their own godfather, the political party's own godfather. So in all of this, they are very, very, integral as, being part of the process. And then also that of our development partners. And then the CSOs. When you make it inclusive, broad-based, then you capture the voices of each and every, sect. But just setting up a committee between the two political parties, because they are the giant political parties, and that of the international community, that is why we are having all those, innuendos. Okay. People are now coming, people are now coming with different perceptions. People are now speculating the outcome. If they had journalists or the media representative, let's say from SLAG, that will be charged with the responsibilities of bringing those deliberations, those discussions to the domain of the public, as and when necessary. We will not be having, speculative assumptions on issues of this nature. No, it is like a sledgehammer hanging up on top of issues that if it doesn't happen this way, this is what, and that is why we were all apprehensive as against the 19th of June, because of the messages, the insidious, the insightful, whatnot that we are coming in, that if this doesn't happen, this is what we will resort to. So, we started shooting ourselves on the leg since the setting up of the tripartite. Okay, so if we had had effective communications around the operations of the tripartite, we will not be where we are today.
So Melvin, it shows that there are still issues from what Pewa, of course, you were saying here just now. But you mentioned issues initially. So now, in terms of steps, we all agree, or you and Daniel Pewa agree that there are issues, there are challenges.
Still unresolved issues.
There are issues, there are challenges from
and don't forget,
the government side.
There was a time even one of the factions, broke away from the discussion, and then they had to they came back.
They have to come back.
So
what step do you think should be taken or can be taken to build trust between the government and APC?
Interestingly, I would have to say this is just a charade of political gimmicking and political theatrics. We are yet to address the substance of the political discord and disunity in this country. I'll give you a classic. On the exclusive newspaper, page 3, it reads, Samura Kamara calls for transparency and accountability and justice. On the caption, National Address by Dr. Samura Matthew Wilson Kamara, presidential candidate of the All People's Congress Party, on the updates on the implementation of the cross-party agreements for national unity, Freetown, Sierra Leone, 19th June 2024. I almost want to say, well, if we put on any kind local language, say this Igboya. But in Igboya, it's Pakango. And in Pakango, for this one green paragraph where they quote Dr. Samura Kamara. And Fambulem, also they ask not to wait in the politician they expect me for talk with the talk. because it's high time we begin talk beyond the agenda. Listen wetin it is say and say you sabi pass me. He say, at the same time, the tripartite committee is not a panacea. It was never intended to address all political ills in our society or to repair all political and electoral wrongs.
You see?
The damage that has been done through the failure of our electoral institutions has been done. The wounds to our body politics can never be fully repaired, but we can now grow, learn, change from them as time goes on. And that is why the APC will continue to urge for appropriate sanctions on persons responsible for inflicting this national damage. This is
There are still issues.
There
are still issues.
Statement.
This is a political rendition and rhetoric that should be analyzed thoroughly.
Critically.
Our nation is grappling for MCC compact. Our nation is grappling with unknown persons that are having visa ban. If you are having an opposition who is saying, let the bygone be bygone, but let the sanction remain, this is a political language. So I'll hold my peace.
Indirectly.
And then also, from the excerpts you have read, he did say that this tripartite is never a panacea, meaning it is not a resolution, it is not a silver bullet, it is not a cure, it is not an address to this issue. So if they are speaking, I'm coming.
So you continue with all what Dr. Samura is saying here from the exclusive.
It's just a solution.
Yeah. So it's a bit confusing as to what.
Very much ambiguous. In such that my grandpa in the village will find it very difficult. I mean, you see, sometimes let politicians be sincere. So no, if you are saying that let the bygone be bygone, it means let's forget about the old
they forgot everything
and forge ahead. But if he's saying that it is never a panacea and that there is sanction, persons must be sanctioned, meaning deeply down within himself. I mean, that is why we are saying, and let me reiterate that, we are not here to sit and talk to satisfy those who wants to hear what we should say. We are saying this within the context of our consciences and that of the ordinary man. If we continue living like this as a people, who suffers the most? It is the ordinary man. Those that are at the political, stage or political corridor will continue to enjoy. We are at the masses of their actions. So it is high time they become genuine, transparent, fair, and sincere, honest enough with the people. If we are going to put this, saga behind us and say we are forging ahead for the better, then so be it. Okay. But it will be deceptive. You are at the stage saying this and doing something different. Let us try to be sincere with the people. This electioneering process or this issue has held this nation, behind. We are expecting the opposition to hold the government accountable, to checkmate either their excesses or otherwise, and provide solutions that will address the challenges that we are going through. There are a lot of economic challenges. There are a lot of economic challenges that we are grappling with. So it is high time the duty bearers address those issues for a better life of the people.
Melvin, from public opinion point of view, and from what you've read from that paper, the extract you've read, and what Tana was saying, running to the committee and the recommendations, despite they were not made public, what do you think? Public opinion plays in sustaining political cooperation?
No, it's vulnerable. At this point, you cannot blame the people if they don't understand what is happening if they take their positions. Because let me give you another case study. That was just the APC's insincerity. Let me give you the SLPP's own. SLPP the own as saying Golek on the page 2 exclusive. there is a symbol of Government of Sierra Leone, Ministry of Information and Civic Education, press release dated 19 June 2024. Government of Sierra Leone's position on the Tripartite Committee. At the cut the off parts, they are going to the issue of clarification on APC's letter. Formula, the big one, and I'm going to read the full one. Let you see these people. They think people are not following them. It's a clarification on APC letter. The APC letter to the ECSL does not represent the Tripartite Committee's position. The government of Sierra Leone representatives did not give a fiat to the APC to send this letter, nor was the use of committee's letterhead appropriate as doing so falsely implied consensus. Then there's another position, clarification on APC press releases. The APC press releases inaccurately involve the government of Sierra Leone in their interactions with the independent ECSL, which operates without government interference as mandated by law. Additionally, the APC statements are rife with inaccuracies seemingly aimed at misleading the public and threatening state security.
Whereas the APC on the other hand is saying this, as I look again, is saying this.
You think they are thinking
So I think so.
they are thinking
That's why.
Sierra Leone is a Dotto nation.
So let me ask again. Let me ask you this question. The question that I did ask Melvin, in terms of public opinion, right? From what Melvin has just read from the two sides, the APC and that of the SLPP, what role do you think public opinion plays in sustaining short political cooperation?
From those pictures we saw,
the pictures, the recommendations, the tripartite, the statement from both SLPP and
I think
APC.
in my initial submission, I did make mention of the fact that a picture, speaks 1,000 words. For my grandpa at Kubola and my aunt at Solima, when they see pictures like this, what signal does they receive? It means that, yes, the two giants are now in partnership. And therefore, even my own personal vendetta or acrimony or bitterness that I have for Mr. A, I should simmer down on it. Okay. So it sends a signal of
positive signal.
Yes. It pacifies the people. It also gives them the assurance that indeed
but we are
peace. Yes. But from what Melvin read, from what that first paragraph from the government's position, the first paragraph you read, I'm not an intellectual, but my understanding of it is this. Because the tripartite comprises of three factions, the two oppositions and that of the international community. Whatever information is to be sought from ECSL, I think it should not come as an individual or whatnot. It should be
all sides.
From all sides.
Okay,
Let's say
that's one can go. Let me just come with the last one.
No, I'm not really the devil's advocate, but that is my understanding.
It's all right.
That whenever this document is brought out to seek information, it should come as a tripartite.
Okay.
Yeah, it should not come as an individual.
You are right. They should come from. So now they should be having a tripartite communicator. Now they know that.
Oh yes.
Also they know that.
Oh yes.
Okay, that has been our ultimate killer here now to show that this is Iboya addressing false claims. Reports suggesting the committee declared Dr. Samura Kamara as the winner of the June 2023 election or will order a rerun of the elections are false. The committee has no authority to audit or order a rerun elections. This is the exclusive domain of the Supreme Court of Sierra Leone.
That's factual, right?
He's coming.
Can I?
Okay.
When you go and look at Article 3 of this so-called Tripartite Committee, they are telling you about international best practice. And I argued this long ago. If it's about the laws of Sierra Leone, this was a done deal. Because people don't go. But then we are saying this Tripartite is saying that in tandem with international best practice. Oh, so now they are telling us that now it's in tandem with the Constitution. So what was their work? That's $2 how many $2 million? there's a need for an auditing on this tripartite.
Oh yeah, they should give us an account of
when
this.
their reports. In fact, for me now, I'm not looking at the APC SLPP position anymore. I am looking at the international development partners position.
End of story.
Because at the end of the day, APC and SLPP, we've seen them for what they are with the tripartite. So now it's left now with the development partners
to decide.
So we are there,
because when you look at this, there's no signature of development partners so far.
Different views or expectations from the SLPP and the APC sides in terms of the tripartite. What I try to say, like, as far as APC, from what they get now on social media, what they say, as far as them be concerned, after the committee been set up, I can look how the election be there, the county on or the on-seat president beyond. Whereas from the SLP point of view, the committee not even gets a TOR on themselves. So like
TOR, we look at the TOR.
Yeah, the TOR, as far as they're concerned, the committee not even get a right.
It's like cats and mice game, a rat race. A rat race around the simple fact. Let me make little family to understand this thing. This is not something new. Okay, when people go make them people and get majiji, this is how it ends. That's why you say, don't disturb the peace of Sierra Leone for any APC or SLPP politician.
Please.
Because at the end of the day, when they go behind the scenes, you are not there. You don't know what they agree upon. And they'll come and tell you with in fine sugar-coated vibes. This is simply the fact that APC is saying, okay, we don't be here, we don't left the case to God, as I know my Bangu have been telling them. But already left the case to God, then the first back say, they want to already suffer, let them continue for suffer. Is this political sincerity? SLPP, they tell you, say, in fact, the original to make, in fact, the case not settled for Islamic tripartite, then for account for the money where they use. So that money they use for other things. Energy. Yes, that's how they suffer public account. Because at the end of the day, they would ask, what will be formed tripartite now?
It is of no essence as far as.
What will form for? So development partners, they are no more than the last hope. They are the ones we are looking at. What's their position on the tripartite report? Because if it's about APC and SLPP, they failed us on this so-called tripartite. One is saying black, the other one is saying white, and we don't know what's going to be the position. So let's wait for the report and let's see how the international community will consolidate the peace and democracy, or will be hypocritical. Because even some of these international partners, we know their positions. We know about the EU position, Commonwealth position. Of course. So that is the last position we are looking out for. If not, let's just be curious and at least hopeful.
Okay, so Daniel, from the different statements and from what's in the kind of public consumption, it seems that there are still challenges.
Enormous challenges. In fact, on the 19th of June, the statement that came from Dr. Samura Kamara left a lot of Sierra Leoneans confused. You know, you cannot be in the pond and out of the pond at the same time. It is as if the two political parties, like Melvin was saying, you know, we are losing. You know, the public trust and confidence keeps on eroding on a daily basis based on who talks to you. You know, you cannot be saying we want to address the anomalies that occurred and you are still making reference to it. That, you know, even when you talk about electoral justice, it is an ambiguity, meaning you need to go back to the courts.
Okay, so quickly,
and if you are to address this issue once and for all, then so be it, rather than keeping confusing people just for individual. Because well, I will not say it is out of party interest, but it is as if it is becoming now personal, personal interest. And $1.5 million is at stake already.
Okay, so because of time, so we have to go through another headlines before we round up. Quickly, I think Alhaji Idris Ojas from Facebook is taking the cue or supporting what both of you are saying. He's saying that these people are just confusing themselves with this tripartite business. But it seems serious. Initially, I asked about public perception or public opinion, and look at Alhaji here. He's saying that the APC and SLPP are confusing themselves with tripartite.
Not just themselves, but even the people. Yeah. Even the people.
You know the bad thing, Mr. Alhaji, I agree with you, but just a point of addendum is the fact that they are not only confusing themselves. Some of the ones who don't belong to them are also suffering. Yesterday was a go-slow.
Yes.
It's not only affecting SLPP and
It affects
it's affecting everybody. So that's why their confusion is not necessary, and we must not tolerate it.
Yes.
Okay, so we quickly, I think, in one step because of time, probably just a minute or so for you guys. One of the most important or the trending topic or the trending issue yesterday was the arrest of 5 alleged coup members that were arrested in Guinea, according to satellites, for their alleged roles in field coup. 5 fugitives nabbed in Guinea. Because of time, like I said, Melvin, quickly, how significant is the arrest of these fugitives in Guinea in relation to regional security?
Who are the alleged fugitives? What were their roles and responsibilities? How and where were they discovered? All of these are issues of the contemporary focus. However, if there's an ongoing trial to that effect, let the law take its course. And definitely, if some people were saying it was an alleged, until and unless it's proven otherwise, we should go to the bottom of that. Because at the end of the day, the government, the constitutional reign should prevail. Yes, it will have its own complications. But if you are turning to the use of the gun to take lives because of power, I think nobody should tolerate that. That is not also to say we should not address issues of national integration, equity, issues around ethnocentrism, corruption. We must address all those issues.
And human rights.
Because at the end of the day, the people in uniform, they are also human beings. They also need better lives. They also have their families to take care of, and we must make them feel better off. If not, we must fight against equity, and we must fight against inequality.
From the human rights
and try to get equity.
You mentioned human rights just now. We're rounding up. How do you think? What do you think the government? How do you think government can ensure a fair and transparent legal process for those that were arrested yesterday?
It is very fundamental, fairness to, justice. It is very, very fundamental, because in all of this, we will not be sitting here if your rights and my rights are not, protected. Which is very, but I am coming. There are two sides to this coin. He alluded to the fact that if people think they should come to power or they should have issues, they have issues with the system, and therefore the only way they can come to governance is through the barrel of the gun. That should not be the issue. That should be, thwarted in all its forms. But what is more important, as it is now, based on security issues, there are a lot of inmates that are at large. And then one will ask a question. Was their arrest precipitated on the fact that they were serving military personnel, and at the end of the day, we have what we call AWO. They AWO, and then, please, this is very technical. Were they active serving officers on duty, and at the end of the day, they disappeared, and they resurfaced in Guinea? These are some of the technical questions.
You are questioning their active status.
Exactly. You understand? Which is very, very key. And then, like I did say, and then you were talking about the importance of this. It hinges on security. As we speak, there are a lot of inmates that are at large, and the law is, looking out for them. So if there is any semblance of such nature, and the people of, like manner are captured and brought, I think it's a welcoming news for the security apparatus.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, Melvin and Daniel.
But we are calling on a fair trial.
It was a really interesting and debatable topic today, and because of time, we are unable to go through. We are unable to do much more justice to all of these issues. But this is where we'll bring the curtains for today's show. You've been watching Front Page here on AYV television, on channel 33, on Radio FM 101.7, on Facebook, AYV News, and via mobile app. Many thanks there to my guest, Melvin Tijama, journalist, and Daniel Para from the social and political angle. Many thanks to my producer, Mayama Soni Koma, and the rest of the technical guys. I have been yours truly, Mamelamin Banya. Thanks for watching and listening.